Holy buckets. Whew. I am so glad I got a heater in my shop. Good night. It's cold out there. I think my coffee froze from the house to the shop. Well, hello everybody. Glad you could make it on this nice 17-degree day in Wisconsin with a wind chill of about 100 below. Okay, maybe a wind chill of 12 below, but dang, it's cold. All right, today I am gonna show you guys some of the results of what I did over the year. The date on this bowl is 9/22. The date on this bowl is I'm not finished yet. And the date on this bowl is 9/22. I did both of those the same day. And this bowl here, the date is I'm not finished yet either. And I've got one more floating around here that I want to show you if I can find it. You guys know me, if my butt wasn't attached, it'd never go with me. Let's get up close and personal, grab my tripod and my camera and go over here. I'm not going to get really specific on the dates of when I turned these because I don't feel like going back and looking that hard. But what I do want to come across with is like this bowl here. This is cherry. I did a repair patch on the side. It had a big knot right over here. Can you see that? Okay, you can see that. I'll stay right about here. Other than the patch with the acrylic, it came out nice. There's a nice finish to the bowl. The shape down here, it changes a little bit more drastically than I would like to have it do, but it's still nice. It's really nice and smooth. It's like they say a lot, it's smooth as a baby's butt. And it's, if I go to a show and I have several bowls out and around my display, the first thing a woman does is they pick up the bowls and they run their hands through them. This little change in direction here that I'm talking about, it doesn't bother a lot of people as much as it does me as a turner. But they like that smooth, glassy feel. It's cool to the touch, really nice. This other bowl, this is birch. It sat in my shop for a really long time from the initial turning when I turned it green. And then I got around to doing this in October. It's got some neat character to it. I don't know the nomenclature name for the spots that are in the wood, but it's got a lot of character to it. The end grain right here with the pith, I left it a little closer to the edge than you would like. I put a rim on this bowl. It came out really nice. And once again, it's smooth and it's enjoyable to touch. But on this bowl, the transition is smooth from the rim all the way to the bottom of the bowl. And it came out just about as perfect of any bowl I've done shape-wise. So I really like this one. This one here is another cherry bowl that I did. And it had a knot that showed up right here in the rim that I wasn't expecting it to have. This was well away from the pith area, But look at that color. Just sitting in my house for a couple of months. Well, no, 4 months. Wow, it's hard to believe. But nice shape. No drastic changes in the shape on the inside. The outside is really nice. All I have to do is remount this on the lathe with a jam chuck and put the tailstock center right here and turn off this tenon, add some finish to the bottom, and that one will be ready to go. This one here is another cherry natural edge bowl that I did this past year, and it unfortunately cracked all to pieces while it was sitting. I thought it was relatively dry, but because of the pith running right through the center of this bowl, it did not handle drying as well as I had hoped. It's been sitting over there underneath my workbench ever since I finished turning the first turn on it. It's got a lot of thickness left to it, but because of this depression here in the side, it's not going to make a pretty bowl. It's not something that is really intriguing to look at, if you want to say it that way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this back on the lathe, not today, but at some point, and turn this down on the ends and knock that down, get it a little bit closer, a little bit more bowl shaped. Probably won't do anything else with the inside other than to sand it, and then take super glue and put in the cracks with a little bit of coffee grounds and see where it ends up. I think it'll, if you like cherry the way I do and the way my wife does, I think it'll be an interesting looking piece. But other than that, it's not the kind of piece that I would put out for sale on my display. I would just put it out there for people to look at. And granted, I have been surprised at something or a piece in the past where I've had it for sale on a or just on my display, not for sale, and somebody won it. Some guy or gal walk up and they're like, oh my goodness, I gotta have that. So you might see something here that you like that doesn't do a whole lot for me personally. And then another piece that I have, this was a piece of popple that my friend Ralph gave me. He cut down a couple of popple trees in his yard this past summer, and he asked me if I wanted a piece, and I told him I never turned it before, but I was willing to give it a try. Honestly, I didn't know what I was missing out on. Popple, this piece is feather light. It's unbelievable. And I turned it down to a little thicker than 1/8 of an inch, and would have gone a little farther, but this piece here broke out where the bark was, and I hadn't planned on that. It came out really cool. It's got a lot of colors to it. When I finished turning this to the thin thickness of the wall, I sanded it down really good. It needs to be sanded again, I can see, but I put a coat of, and it came out really nice. I'm going to sand it with probably 400 and 600 grit sandpaper, and I will do that with the sanding disc on the drill, and I won't turn this on the lathe. I'll just have it on the lathe so it can hold it, and then I will finish by turning this. And but I'll see how this finishes up, and I'll do another video on these two pieces and let you see what they look like once they're returned and then sanded and a finish is on them. That's going to be a while. I have other projects. The thing I enjoy doing most is I like turning pins, and then here I'm not going to finish this one either, but I just wanted to show this is a piece of box elder. Most of the red has disappeared. I was experimenting with different shapes, and like I talked about in my last video, a lot of times guys end up with stuff that's shaped like this, and this is one of those bowls. I went down into the piece and then curved across the bottom. The bottom's almost flat. On the outside, the bottom is flat, so it's not much for a usable bowl. It's decorative. At the very least, it's decorative. But someday I plan on filling this hole here. I plan on finishing and filling this hole. This here, the bark, it was an inclusion, it fell out, and it looks kind of neat. It looks like a werewolf took a bite out of the bowl. And then I put some epoxy on the inside in a few places, and it really didn't help the look of the bowl at all. And the end grain tore out, and it's really rough. But it's one of those pieces where on a rainy day, if you're bored with everything else, I'll take it out from over here and I'll do something with it. That's nothing. Okay. That's really about it. The piece that I'm getting ready to work on, as soon as I build up the courage, I don't know what species of wood this is. The guy that gave it to me said he didn't know what it was. It was a tree that was in his yard that had fallen over, and it had left the base of the tree about 6 feet from the ground, and this was on that base. So he took his chainsaw, cut it here, and cut it below. Well, he had another section on here about this much taller, and I took my saw and I cut it off. And now I'm really wishing I wouldn't have, because now it's cracked in about 1,000,000 different places. So I don't want to cut off another piece again and have it crack anymore, but it's cracked right there. And plus, it's starting to crack around these deformities in the wood, which I am going to turn it between centers, so that should help, and see what happens from there. I need to find the center of the piece from left to right here, and then from left to right here, and then turn it down and find out how much hollow it needs. This will be the top, that'll be the bottom, and who knows, it might be something as worthy as the stuff that Pole Barn, Doug over at Pole Barn turns, or even Ken over at Moon Pie Creations. This is a cherry piece that came off of a limb on a tree. The limb is not very big, as you can see here, but this is starting to crack in the bottom, so I need to do something with it. I put wax on it, but apparently not enough. So I don't know if I should cut this in half this way and turn the halves, or if I should do a hollow form. Alright, this is I didn't get a video out on Sunday. I had other stuff going on. I apologize, but sometimes life takes precedence over working in the shop. And I had a really sick kitty cat. My kitty cat that's been in the beginning of some of my videos, his name is Romeo. He's a sweetheart of a cat, hence his name. Sunday was just really a quick day. I didn't get to do much out here, so anyhow, that's all I got. My name's Kevin. Thanks for joining me. Leave a comment below and tell me what you think of these bowls. And if you have ideas about what you think I should do with the other two pieces, let me know. You never know. I might just try to do it. I might not too. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye. And